Hey everybody, welcome back. This is HD, and I realized at the end of the last series between Sen and Socke that it actually ended in a best of three, or it ended in 3 games, and it was a best of 5, which means I needed to make 2 anti-spoiler videos for you guys, and I decided that I haven't casted an exhibition game outside of the HD World Tournament or outside of the IPL. I haven't casted any games, any exhibition games at all for almost a month now, or I think it's even been over a month. So I decided that for these 2 anti-spoiler videos, because we do need a Game 4 and a Game 5, I'm going to go ahead and cast this game that I just downloaded off a website. It is between Huck and I Am MVP, and I'm actually going to be splitting this game into 2 parts, so I'll upload the first half as Game 4, and then the second half is Game 5, and I hope you guys enjoy that. So yeah, once again back to the exhibition mode. I guess I should go ahead and get my feet wet, because following the HD World Tournament I will be going back to casting some exhibition games, and there has been some pretty electrifying matches out there that I haven't really been able to cast, and I really want to go back in time and pull up a couple of those replays. Now this one was played a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and this is I Am MVP versus Huck. Obviously Huck is one of the well-known players in StarCraft 2, hailing from North America. He now resides in South Korea, I believe, trying to make this his full-time job, and he has become one of the most feared Protoss players in the entire world, very, very prominent. And I Am MVP, in fact, if you guys didn't know, was the player who beat Marine King Prime in the GSL. I think this was 2 seasons ago, and is an extremely accomplished Terran player, one of the best in the world. So I am looking forward to this matchup, guys. This is going to be a Terran versus Protoss. It's going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns, which is kind of cool, bringing back one of the old maps that I have not seen in quite some time, having been casting the IPL and the HD World Tournament. Haven't really seen this map, and even though it's been a pretty default standard map in StarCraft 2 for quite some time. So we'll see what happens, guys. Once again, this is the anti-spoiler video for Sen versus Socke, and it will be split up into 2 parts. So the first half will be Game 4, and the second half will be Game 5. Looks like Huck will be going up with Gateway Cybercore here, everything looking really standard. I'm MVP, in fact, has gone with a barracks, and he's not thrown up his barracks at the front door, and he is getting a second barracks as well. And a lot of times Terran players just don't like putting their barracks at the front because it leaves it vulnerable, especially on this map. It leaves it vulnerable to Protoss forces that can kind of pick it off from the ground below. So I Am MVP has decided to, I guess he's decided to go ahead and throw up his barracks inside his main. And he does have a reactor going down on one of his barracks here. He may decide to go with, well, it looks like he's going to just pretty much go with a bio build. Looks like things haven't really changed all that much in the exhibition scene. And Huck here is going to try to get his probe up there, but no can do, not with the Marines standing at the ramp. And that probe is going to be pushed away. Meanwhile, SCV also running away from the Protoss main as the Stalker is now out. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen in this little game that I've got here. You know, both these players have such a high caliber. Unfortunately, neither of them were playing in the HD World Tournament. I don't think either of them were playing in the IPL either. So it's a bit of a mishap, but bit of a misunfortunate twist of events. But we'll see what happens here. Huck here got his Stalker engaging 5 Marines, and that is not going to be a very favorable position. His Stalker will have to fall away. And I don't think they're going to be able to take out these Marines, but he's still continuing to dance with fate. And, you know, one little mishap can result in you losing that Stalker, and that can be a very costly mistake. Meanwhile, Huck is still making more Stalkers. He's got 2 more warp gates, or 2 more gateways coming up, but soon to be warp gates. I'm MVP here, starting to push out with his 2 barracks, and I think I Am MVP is gearing up to go for a 2 barracks into a command center build, which is very standard on this map. He is pushing out with his Marines and Marauders, and he will catch this proxy pylon at the center of the map. A lot of times, Protoss players like to hide a pylon behind that gold expansion, and it can be really, really annoying for the Terran player, but thankfully I Am MVP already on top of that. Picks off that that pylon with ease, and back at the main, he is building up his second command center, along with concussive shells already finishing, and stim pack now on the way. So I Am MVP looks to be gearing up for a bio build standard play, and I think he's just going to go with pretty much mass Marines, mass Marauders, maybe some dropship play towards the late game. Huck here throwing up a pylon once again at the kind of 11 o'clock location, and his probe is actually picked off by the Marines and Marauder patrol party here, and he cancels his pylon as a result, realizing that those Marines and Marauders were going to intercept the pylon anyways, canceling the pylon wisely, recuperating some of the money back. Huck here, it almost looks like he's trying to get fancy with it, trying to get jiggy with it, trying to throw up what the heck is that? Looks like the Stalker killed off a Marine and then was just dancing on his corpse or chilling on his corpse there, but it almost looks like Huck is trying to get sneaky here, trying to throw up a pylon at the corners of the map, and maybe not necessarily to do any kind of a sneaky attack. All too often, Protoss players, they just like to get pylons around the map, especially on this one, to detect dropships, to help warp in forces whenever necessary. But IMMVP is really on top of every single situation. He has not allowed any pylons to go up at the corners of Xel'Naga Caverns. He's been really alert to that, and I think as a result, Huck's map control and map awareness is kind of slipping as a result, who is now going into robotic support or robotics bay, and he's throwing up more gateways. So he's going to try to get more map control with observers, but really Huck doesn't really have any pylons up across the map, which can cost him later on in this game. And now IMMVP finally moving out. Gonna control that, try to get that natural expansion down, and he also has a factory on the way as well. So I think he may be going into biomech here, or he may just decide to go straight into starport so he can get some dropships out. And oh, a Stalker gets picked off at the center of the map as it was falling back. Huck is trying to retreat right now. Huck actually lacking in supply a little bit, 60 supply under 68, and IMMVP may be gearing up to make a pretty good push here. He does have stim ready, he has concussive shells as well, plus combat shields and plus some weapons on the way. It looks like Force Field's trying to split the Terran army in half here, not doing the best of jobs as the majority of the bio ball was behind the Force Field, and as a result, IMMVP will be able to pick off countless probes here and maybe even the assimilator. But nope, gonna decide to fall back behind the slippery hallway at the back of the Protoss, and he will be able to fall away, not really losing any of his units there. And if we pull up the workers kill tab, as a result, he killed off 6 workers, and that was really good for IMMVP, who is now favoring a 4 harvester advantage and is also going into reactor starport. So almost certainly, guys, we're going to be seeing some dual dropships coming out for IMMVP, maybe even some Vikings as well, so he can deal with potential Colossus, which it looks like Huck is starting to get right now. And starport and factory are going to swap so they can get that reactor core on the starport. Observer gets picked off by a missile turret. A little bit of a mishap there by Huck. I feel like Huck's game here, usually not the type of player to just aimlessly fly the observer into a missile turret, but a little bit of a mishap there. He loses one of his obs, now only down to 1, and it's making a little bit of a design here as it tries to do the scouting it needs to figure out exactly what MVP is up to. And at the same time, Huck now pushing to grab his gold expansion, but kind of rough for Huck, guys. I feel like Huck has fallen behind in this game. Just goes to show that that MVP, having won the GSL against Marine King Prime, who also was known as Foxer for a little bit, having shown that MVP really is of a caliber that almost untouchable, even for Huck's standards. Huck, coming from North America, just not quite enough to deal with a player that comes from South Korea, the homeland of StarCraft. And MVP is slowly but surely continuing to increase that lead that he's got. He is now at 111 supply